All right. So again, you started your tax business several years ago. Then you expanded. You talked about you had a trucking business, right? And then snowballs. But specifically with your tax business and snowballs, that was driven by you.
Yeah.
As you've expanded, now you have Heart and Soul. Um, you also have Hammerheads, right? And I know some other stuff is coming down the pike in the future. But how do you make that decision when you enter into business enterprises and now you take on business partners? How do you go about determining who's going to be a good fit? Talk about some of the pros versus being in business by yourself, and then also talk about the pros of being in business with business partners, but then also maybe some of the challenges or cons that come with that. So just talk about business partnership.
I think business partnership is good.
Okay.
It definitely requires the right people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I got in the first. Let's say it's the first business partnership. All right. It works. Like we have influence, we have operations, we have financials
Okay.
as strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps any business starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that business created the platform for a Hammerheads.
Okay.
Hammerheads was increased, you know, and so like honestly, it's Hammerheads is essentially what is a project.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and when I say project, that means like we included more people,
Okay.
but we the core converted from one to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're seeing the people around us and incorporated them into the partnership.
Okay.
All right, so even in that sense, they all bring something individual to the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, having that, it should make the work easier, right? If everybody does their part, it's easier load.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you, like one of my partners say, it helps you get there faster, and it does.
Okay.
It fast tracks a lot of things. Like so, when we opened Hammerheads, we didn't have to go searching for customers.
Mm-hmm.
We already had the platform for the customers.
Okay.
So now we use that platform. Hammerheads is a platform. Mm-hmm. It's a restaurant, but it's a platform.
Okay.
Every person gets to eat off the platform. You know, if they know how to use their talents.
Mm-hmm.
I have a talent with taxes and numbers, so it opens up a bigger audience for me, essentially.
Okay.
Because we all have our faces with Hammerheads. Adrian has his platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets a bigger platform, but he already has a huge platform.
Yeah.
Same with Chris. Chris is a photographer. He used the platform right. He can eat off the platform. Mm-hmm. You have Justin. He's a creative. Mm-hmm. He can eat off the platform. Mm-hmm. You have Darius. He's into the fashion. Darius is more talented with fashion and he know how to put things together well.
Okay.
All right. He also does shoe cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
So like tapping in, like yo, if you're monopolizing your lane,
okay,
of whatever you do, when people come from there to you, you can tap in. They may not know that you was doing that. Mm-hmm. So boom, oh, I didn't know he do that.
Yeah.
Boom, let me reach out to him. So, but everybody has a lane, you know. We have other partners. I won't say some of their names because they don't want their names out there.
Okay.
But for the ones that you visibly get to see on a regular basis,
yeah,
those people have lanes, and even the ones who's behind the scenes, they have lanes where they could tap in if they was a face. Mm-hmm. So, but for me, I love partnership because now essentially I don't have to make all the decisions.
Okay.
Whereas with previously with the other two, I had to make all decisions. But guess what I also had to do? I had to do all the work. I had to be the camera guy. I had to be the creative. I had to be the numbers guy. I had to be the branding, the marketing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have to be all of those titles. So, but it does help now where when I got people who can do branding, marketing, the creativity, I can still come in and say, oh, I like how that look, I don't like how this look. And they can make my vision come to life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about it. Like, it eases up, but like, I'm still honing in on other people's gifts.
Yeah.
I'm learning it. So now I can go back to my individual businesses, incorporate that, what I'm learning from them. So I'm always a student in the partnership.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning more instead of just being the teacher. I still get to learn.
Okay.
So I like that in my partnerships.
Yeah.
And I like that my partnerships don't have the big head. You know, everybody, we have hard moments. Yeah. But everybody understands the hard moments is just a moment. You know, you get over it. Like, you gotta have hard conversations to make sure everybody's still being accountable. You know, like, we're still normal people.
Sure.
So we all are learning. Everybody don't have the same business acumen that are tenure in business. So, I'm gonna do things differently from other people. Mindsets are different. My mindset is gonna be, I'm gonna push.
Sure.
I'm gonna push you to the edge. You may not have that in you already, but that's what I'm gonna get out of you. And it may be difficult for you, but it's the betterment of it. Because if I push you here, and anything you're doing individually outside of us, right, it's gonna apply to that down the road for you. Right. So now it's about getting everybody equal or going to the same peak. Okay. All right. So we all different lifestyles, different likes in life or what we do, but we can all become at one point like, sometimes it's like you won't know who the boss is. That's what you want. I want us to have the same lingo, same language, where when we're speaking, when you speak to me, you hear the same thing from him. Yeah. Or her, or whoever it is. So it's a fluid level of conversation where if somebody come to you and say, I talked to Sean, this is what he said. You already know in your mind, Sean didn't say that. Right. And you could go back and say exactly what we want what's to be said in those moments. So when the customer complaining, like, you have people, friends, like, hey, all right, cool, like, I'm gonna reach this is our rule in the partnership. If it's Mike Russ customer, and the reason we say Mike Russ customer is because they're familiar with Mike Russ. Mike Russ don't get to deal with them. All right. Reason why Mike Russ don't get to deal with that customer, because that customer is going to throw familiarity onto Mike Russ, and they're going to feel entitled to get something or to put the sympathy card on Mike, and he gonna want to give him a discount. Yeah. No, Sean gonna handle your customer. Okay. That way we can take the personal out of it. It's just business. If I'm booking an event, if somebody reach out to me to book an event, I'm gonna send them to the coordinator we have in place to book that event. I'm not gonna book the event for them. Yeah. Hey, this is the phone number you need to reach to reserve it. They gonna give you all the information you need. I'm not gonna promise you nothing. Yeah. And that's just accountability to take away personal from it, but that's good because now it don't just end up on me. Like, when people know you're the only person in the business, it could go two ways. It could go where they feel threatened by you because you're the only person I can talk to.
Right.
But when I give you somebody else to talk to, you feel like, hey, all right, I'm getting customer service.
Yeah.
Even if I don't get my way. If you reach out to me and say, hey, Sean, I didn't like something at Hammerheads, and I tell you one thing, and you say, oh, you know what? Maybe you didn't know I was the owner.
Mm-hmm.
You just thought I was waiting the tables. I can send a Justin to the table after for him to back up what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you got the answer from another person, you feel like you was heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all in how you play it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's big language on partnerships.
Okay. Partnerships.
But it's crazy though. You can get it can be very difficult when you're in the partnership that it can be nasty.
Yeah.
But I think if you communication, honesty, and transparency, those things help you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna say what you don't want to hear, but I'm not saying it to belittle you or anything. I'm holding you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just don't want to be accountable, you should not be in partnerships.
Wow.
Because that's what it's about.
Yeah. So put on your teacher hat for me as we wrap up 2022 and we are going into 2023. I've known you going on at this point 14, 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't surprise me your success in business, because even when I launched some initial business ventures, if you recall, I had you as my financial advisor because I always knew you was great with money, right? So none of the things that you're doing surprises me. But as a friend who's had a seat that's been up close, you've made making money look easy. All right. So as we go into 2023, you know, people are listening to the podcast, watching the podcast, whatever it may be. Talk to people about these three things. 2023, somebody is a young millennial. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what their age is. 2023, they want to make something different happen with their life. I want you to answer these three things. Tell us, how do you make money? 2023.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage money? And how do you multiply money?
All right.
Talk to those three.
How do you make money? Passion.
Okay.
All right. Everything I do is passion based. That way I'm never bored with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's tough, I can stick it out because I like doing it.
Okay.
I essentially don't work. You know, I wake up, I do the necessities of what work is, emails, back-end information, stuff like that, but I'm not working because I enjoy doing it.
Okay.
When I come in, we have the shoe store and the restaurant, same plaza. All right, so I can be in the plaza all day. I can either focus my attention on the restaurant or the shoe store. It depends on what needs my attention for that day. All right, but I've embodied where the people around me are my friends. All right, so essentially through the last 4 years, all friends are entrepreneurs now.
Okay.
All right, and we've given like the ability to do what they love in the businesses. All right, it's not to look down on nobody or anything like that, but they do what they do. So like, it's access as well. So, you know, I hope we pay them well. I hope they don't be talking in the other friend circles that we don't pay them enough.
Right.
But my thing is, I tell them about freedom.
Yeah.
All right. Freedom helps you multiply that money.
Okay.
All right. Having the freedom or being on a platform and taking advantage of the moments that you're in. Like, so I always go back. I always tell you, I always remind you of, like, you know, watching T.D. Jakes back in the day. He said, yo, don't come asking me about no ketchup. So that's what I tell my friends and my partners. Even though they're my friends, they're still my partners.
Right.
Don't ask me about ketchup. I tell the servers, our workers.
You was telling me about this other day.
Don't ask me about ketchup. Ask me about something that can help your life.
Right.
You know, if it's pertaining to business. Like, it's not that I'm not going to not tell you. So to me, that's how I make money.
Okay.
It's just I follow my passions.
All right.
Yes, it may take a while, but I still follow them to make the money. I multiply it with my freedom and resources.
Mm-hmm.
So these platforms that we are in, I've integrated to all the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I don't promote it on each business. I don't do that. I don't cross promote essentially on none of it. But I make sure I'm mentioning what's the business at hand
Mm-hmm.
on my social media platforms for the audience that is out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then another way you make money is from the team. Your team should be talking about what you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, when somebody say, "Oh, Sean, I love what you're doing on social media," the branding or the marketing, the things y'all got up, I'm like, I got a guy.
Yeah.
I mentioned Justin's name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, you want it? I got a guy.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you just gotta have the money to pay him. So from there, that works. Anybody talk to me about pictures?
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling them about my guy first.
Yeah.
If somebody want to talk about branding and marketing,
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you need something about shoes? I got a guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my people on. Oh, you want cater? I got a girl.
Mm-hmm.
For you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think I'm missing one.
Managing. How do you manage?
Manage.
Yeah.
I manage money very easy.
Okay.
I make it and I don't spend it.
Okay.
All right. What that means, it's so simple, but I make the money and I don't spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So I created New Zero. That's my philosophy. New Zero means I create a number in my bank account that equals $0.
Mm-hmm.
When I get to that number, I'm broke.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me for nothing. We eating noodles,
Mm-hmm.
bologna cheese sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is, hey, simply, you can start off small and work your way up. If you don't know how to save money, start off with $500.
Mm-hmm.
Say like, yo, I'm gonna save up $500, and I'm gonna keep this in the bank. When I get to $501, I have $1 to my name.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As I'm making money and multiplying it, I'm throwing that money into that New Zero. Now that New Zero may get to 1,000. It may jump to 10,000. It could jump to 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm at 50,000, I'm broke. So that's depending on what your lifestyle is and how much money you can make.
Mm-hmm.
But that 50,000 could be like, you know what? I'm gonna get to this 50,000 number, and when I get there, you know what? I might buy some property, or I might splurge and buy myself a big gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe at that point I've earned it. So you don't buy big gifts and splurge if you haven't earned it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always wait your turn.
Okay.
Most people, as soon as they start making money, they make the big purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wait my turn. So I set goals. Very simple. When I was younger, everybody wanted rims.
Mm-hmm.
I had the vehicle, but I had a car note.
Okay.
When I pay my car off, I'm going to get rims.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boom. That's what I did. I had to wait. I maybe was 3-4 years behind them.
Yeah.
But I went and got my rims after I paid the note because I could afford it then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Paid my house off. Right? Or I had the money to pay my house off. I didn't pay it off in time
Mm-hmm.
at the time. But at that point, I said, you know what? I got to reward myself. I went and brought a Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Use it the right way. And we go back to the credit talk on that.
Okay.
I paid my Rolex. I used the credit card to pay my Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
Got the points for it. Right? Those points probably gave me a third of what the Rolex cost,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And when the bill came at the end of the month, I just paid it off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I maximized on my big gift, but I waited my turn. I didn't just go get it because I had money.
Yeah.
I had everything in place. I paid the house off in 5 years. Boom. Okay. Now I can go get a Rolex. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you manage it. You ain't managing money if you go and splurge as soon as you get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage people, hey, find a New Zero. get that new zero in your bank accounts, and at that point, you stick with it. And you steady save that money. It helps you in a lot of ways. Now you get to see $5,000. It's sitting in the account. Every day you open that bank account, you got $5,000. It resets your mind to what money is. Now when you get the big payday from job or from taxes, that money can sit in the bank.
Yeah.
And you're okay with it versus burning a hole in your pocket. Yeah. Oh no, I gotta go buy something today. Yeah. You know, I gotta go buy this.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Right.
See the money sit. Watch it sit. Watch your mind shift where you begin to control money and it no longer control you. Yeah. So that's what for the three things you asked. Yeah. Make money, manage, and multiply.
As you was talking, what came to my mind is really what you've done is you brought your mind to your money. Because it could be easy, you know, again, this new net zero, right? I mean, you're just not taking in this money and then just frivolously spending it, but you're giving your money an assignment, right? Whether you are managing it, you're multiplying it. And I think too often for many people is no matter what amount of money you make, because I've known people down through the years who make great money and then at the end of the year still nothing to show for it.
Right.
And it's the importance of really bringing your mind to your money, giving it an assignment, assigning it to go in a certain direction so that it can work for you.
Yeah, that saying, make every dollar have a home is real. Like you can, and listen, I have fun. Yeah. I'm not out here saying, oh, I'm just frugal. I'm not even frugal. Yeah. You know, I have fun, but I know when to splurge or when to have fun. I'm very cool with I'll say this to people. I'm okay with having 2 months of not spending money to have 10 months of spending money. Right. So if I can balance it out where I don't live paycheck to paycheck. So when I'm spending, it's not like, oh, you know, I'm going to just buy that because it's that cost. I'm still looking for the cheapest price. I'm still looking for the trip and trying to save money with the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not negating those principles that I grew up on. But I'm also not being a cheapskate. Right. I know that, okay, yeah, that is worth that amount of money. Or, we went to a restaurant in Dallas about a year ago. Yeah. And recently we just saw like a TikTok or something and it was like, exactly, it's not worth that money. Right. But
I get this steak at somewhere else.
Yeah, I could go somewhere else. Yeah. But I went there under the impression that it was going to be good, but it wasn't to our liking. But we paid for the experience. You know, and I'm okay with that. Sure. Like, even if the food wasn't good, it's not for me to be like, oh, it's not great. No, I paid for that experience. Yeah. And honestly, I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, the experience was great.
I just didn't like the food.
And it wasn't all food.
It wasn't bad food. It just wasn't right. It wasn't all the way up there, but I'll just say this. They go for a demographic. Sure. I understand the demographic. So I don't expect to get my grandmother's cooking taste at that location. Right. But also, I don't get their presentation at my grandmother's house.
Exactly.
Pick your poison. You want presentation or you want the taste? Because I done been in hole in walls that got all the taste, and I'm good. And I done been into the high places where, oh no, this what they paying $500 for a steak? Ain't no way. But I get it. Yeah. So I tend to enjoy my experiences in that aspect, but I don't spend just because I got it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the future. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put up for the future when it comes to money. Yeah, I'm gonna live now, but I'm living for the future. I'm trying to get it where I can say, 45, hey, you know what? I don't have to go in to work as whatever work is. I got the money saved up. I can relax, and maybe I can hone in on 1 to 2 things or reduce the load in some businesses and just make a certain amount, or I can get in the workers to make that money and pay them. So let's just say if I got a company grossing $300K, and let's just say I'm getting $100K from it after expenses and all of those things, and I don't need that $100K no more, or I've learned how to maximize the 300 to increase it to 180 or 200.
Yeah.
But now I can hire somebody in, pay them $50,000 a year or something, and say like, yo, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get your 50. I may end up getting 75 now, but it takes stress away from me.
Yeah.
I didn't created an avenue for another family to have a source of income, and that's one of the things I think in entrepreneurship that people don't talk about. You as the owner, hey, you're responsible for that family.
Yeah.
You got to keep them doors open. You got to make sure them bills paid. You got to make sure they paid, because you're responsible for their family once they start working for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really understand that part of it. They just, it's like right now it's a lot of glam and glitz in the entrepreneur world, and where the work is and the responsibilities of being an entrepreneur isn't being taught to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So to the person that's listening to the podcast, watching it, they said, man, I heard what you said, Sonye, about how to make money and going after my passion. But they say, man, you making it seem so easy. I'm passionate as well, they're saying, and they say, yet I still don't know how to monetize my talent, monetize my gift. What do you say to that individual that says you're making it seem so easy, and I'm passionate about things as well? What do you say to them, and they're looking to monetize and break through in a certain industry?
You study.
Okay.
Before the businesses, right? Friday nights I used to be at home. My friends out and partying, having fun. I was at home studying credit. I was studying the things that I wanted to be good at. That's it. I studied. I have a nephew right now, JJ. He just was in town about 2 weeks ago. He's trying to break into the film world. And he like, yo, I've studied YouTube for the last year and a half. That's what he want to do. So he's doing the work behind the scenes. And that's the thing. Do the work behind the scenes.
Wow.
It's not a quick fix. It's not I'm in it and the money's here. What work are you going to do to make yourself succeed? To make people say, oh, it looks easy. I've done the work behind the scenes for myself.
Yeah.
I still do the work behind the scenes for myself. So with that being said, the work never stops. The consistent word of all of entrepreneurship is work.
Work.
If you don't do work, they say, you don't eat. So it's not easy. Yeah, it looks easy now because we're in pilot mode.
Yeah.
But prior to this, you wasn't paying attention when we was doing all that studying, trial and error, messing up. You ain't know us then.
Right.
Now you know us because you see fruits. Those fruits are making you feel that it's easy. Yeah. It's not.
It goes back to what we were saying earlier about like the overnight success, or what appears to be the overnight success. But as you're saying, you've done the work.
Yeah.
You've done the studying. You put the dedication in now, where you're in driver mode and it looks easy, or somebody may think, man, he's an overnight success, all these businesses. But no, that's not the case. I put the work in.
Oh yeah. Like even one of my partners, he speaks and he's like, hey, listen, most people be thinking like the money from it is too much, is a lot for speaking that people pay him. And it's like, nah, this is 10, 15 years of experience and pain and struggle that I'm giving you in this 30 minutes to an hour speech.
Yeah.
So that's what you're paying me for. You're not paying me for the 30 minutes and to an hour speaking. You're paying me for the experience I'm giving you.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't want to create the moment of having the experiences. You have the experiences by working.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't work is not physically labor per se. It's just like, yo, what you doing with your spare time?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to sacrifice having fun with your friends or hanging out with your girlfriend or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
to make your future better? Where you see yourself 5 to 10 years? If you don't put in the work, you never change. Because I can go to work every day, right? I go work 9 to 5 job every day
Mm-hmm.
and still be at that same desk in 10 to 15 years.
Right.
If I'm not trying to change or add something extra to it.
Yeah.
So, same way as when I was an athlete, one person in particular used to tell me, "What you doing after practice?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "I ain't doing nothing." Well, guess what? You ain't gonna get better.
Yeah.
How do you get better? Like, yeah, you work out with the team, but how do you get better?
Mm-hmm.
You got to put in the work after practice, before practice.
Mm-hmm.
What extra are you doing so it can be easy? Because if I do the same work you do,
Yeah.
we all gonna look the same.
Yeah.
But when I do that extra work, you gonna hold on, man. You got an extra step. Like how do I get that move as an athlete or something? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way in business, if you do the extra work, you stand out from the crowd. You know, you have 2 crowds in the entrepreneur world: productivity crowd and the popularity crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They can coexist, but sometimes popularity don't mean productivity.
Yeah.
You know, productivity don't mean popularity.
Mm-hmm.
But you never gonna just be popular.
Yeah.
And become productive.
Oof. Wow. Wow. Listen, man, we could talk all night, all right? But we will wrap it up on this question right here. We are less than 48 hours from going into 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you know, you have reached a certain level of success. But as we go into 2023, I know you can't tell us everything. You're not going to tell us everything. But what's next for Sean Sonye? What's some of the things you're going to look to do, make happen in 2023?
2023. You know, man, I'm being honest with you. It's about just growing the business still.
Okay.
But it's also reducing stress.
Mm-hmm.
So it's finding systems.
Okay.
All right. It's maintaining accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's also embracing what is healthy, you know, and that means that could be mentally with your coworkers or your partners or your employees, whoever you work with.
Okay.
That's what you gotta stay mentally healthy, right?
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, accountability. That's what I want to see from people around me. I want to also see where you're actually passionate. I want to see that passion from my team come out. Mm-hmm. You know, like I want to see them chase their dreams. I also want to see them work the platform. Mm-hmm. Where essentially it makes it where, like, you know what? I make enough money off the platform. I don't need to take from the platform. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. And that help businesses grow too. Yeah. But it's getting them there. Like, as I said earlier, it's like a trial we're doing, you know, where we're getting everybody to become that entrepreneur that they want to be, mm-hmm. which creates freedom. And so once they taste that real freedom, they get it. They're gonna get it. Like, it's basically like a drug. As soon as you get freedom and you're making money from the freedom, you don't want to go back. Mm-hmm. So that's where we at. Like, you know, it's a lot of newbies in the partnership life. Okay. So they're learning it. They're learning entrepreneurship. Yeah. and they have to adjust. Like, but it's a how can I say it? It's a very fast pace that we're doing it, but they get to skip a lot of things. They get to skip the trial, the heartaches, from dealing by themselves. You know, like, so sometimes now it's like, hey, you know what? I don't got to deal with that. I already, if me being the senior entrepreneur in the group, say like, you know, hey, I already experienced that. Like, let me show you this, how you know, or I don't know who to talk to. And that's what it really be about. You don't know who to talk to when you become an entrepreneur because it's a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Most of us didn't come from families who understood entrepreneurship. They are trained. Their mindset is 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is foreign language to them, but it can work. So I came from that era. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur, you know. And my mom worked 30 years at her job, one job, before she retired. So even me, but I recognized it early. I can't do what mom did. There's no way, from what I see in the world, a job won't let me stay there 30 years and collect a retirement off of them. It's not gonna happen. So I just took things in my own hand, but just healthy relations. On the business side, I just want to continue to grow what we have. And I think if we do that, we on the cusp of doing some great things where people recognize that we're doing some great things and actually be more appreciative of what's happening. In my partnership, I'll say this: we don't do money grabs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really care about people. We really want to give you a great product in each business. And I think once people get to start seeing that and actually see it with a clear lens versus coming in like, oh, you know, well, so many people involved. I don't like this person. Yeah. So I ain't gonna really like the business, but when you come, you're like, oh, you know what? This is good stuff. So healthiness, that's gonna be my word. Healthy, but I think what we decided as the word for Hammerheads is shift. Okay. You know, that's our word, shift, for the year, the new year. So we're gonna basically shift the atmosphere and get a place like Hammerheads to be a safe place. That's what it really is. Like, you know, we open the doors. Like, we open to a lot of things there. Like, and we want customers, our partners who may want to come in and do things at Hammerheads to understand, like, yo, like, we have full creative control. That's something that you don't have in big brands. Big brand, hey, this is our way, we sticking with it. We have full creative control. If it makes sense, let's do it. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Right. Let us help you make it make sense. Right. And adjust or shift your mindset on what you're trying to do to still get it accomplished, but let's make it make sense for everybody. A lot of people come in selfishly when they're doing business. Everybody, it has to make sense for every person. So once we get that shift in, I think it's going to be a great 2023. I'm already looking forward to it, like productive. So like every quarter, I want to see growth. Okay. And by the end, it's just going to be a snowball effect where it's like, yo, like, you know what? This was an easy year. All right, let's do it again. And let's get more efficient. That's it. That's what it's about. Every year, slowly get more efficient than the previous year. If it happens fast, great. But it's ways, but it's also me doing homework. Yeah. It's the team doing homework with, you know, different restaurants. You know, us going out of town, experiencing other restaurants, black restaurants, top restaurants. What can we pull that we see something they're doing right? Or better yet, what do they feel they're doing wrong, and does it match up with what we think we're doing wrong? Yeah. So where we can, like, you know, coexist where it's not competition. So it's not, to me, it's no competition. So if you know something going on your end, like it should automatically be like, you know what, man, let me talk to them boys over there. Let's see how business has been for them for the last few months.
Yeah.
Or you know, like what they've been saying lately.
Yeah.
It's healthy dialogue. It's gonna make you better. It's gonna make me better.
Yeah.
And let's have it. But you know, it's getting people to see that. So that might be one of my things too. Like being, no, I think I'm already friendly enough, but being where having hard conversations with other people.
Okay.
Where, you know, like they feel that I'm competition when I don't look at them as competition.
Yeah.
And we can actually speak and create a culture. That's what I want with Black. For this 2023, I want it where Black businesses in the same lanes are actually conversating with each other to make the culture of what they're doing better.
Yeah. I love it, man. Well, 2023 is right around the corner. Let's do it. Let's make it great. Shift and take it to the next level, bro.
And there it is.
Absolutely.